awesome when it comes back on. It's like banging your head against a brick wall. It feels so good when you stop. It's all happening here. Been eaten alive by mosquitoes nearly. What's happening? Where do we start? I don't know. I'm messing with this again, sort of. I wish I had more time to mess with this. I really do. Got new glasses coming. Wearing my sunglasses at the moment, which is a bit of a pain. I really wish I had more time to deal with this and do some things on it. There's stuff to do. But I've started on the liner. Mark, I missed you. Mark Osborne, I missed you, I think. It's nice and round. Got the micrometer out. And it measures nice and round. I've done what needed to be done, made a plug that presses in the end of it. I've got to still machine one end of it nice, or machine it to length or something. Still thinking about that. But anyway, pressing on with that. Bit of a mess around with the 3D printer. This sort of works and sort of doesn't work. I'm going to have another go at it. I did this last night on stream, which looked like a fun thing to do, but if we put this together, it does fit in the hole. Which is see, and that one fits in, this one fits in, this one doesn't fit in, don't know what happened there, but there's plenty of room in this, so I'm going to try and get another 5mm around this and have another go at it. I think we're on the right sort of track with this bit maybe, and this bit. This bit doesn't fit yet. So it's me making a box for my magnetic camera mount, which is new to the shop. It's quite good. It's AliExpress bargain, but it's got a decent GoPro mount and seems really strong and rigid. The only problem is that bit doesn't fit in the box. And that's just a cheap Bunnings Tactics box that I thought I'd fit it all in. Hasn't happened. I don't know if I showed this, I probably didn't. This is just a parts tray or a work tray, which is very useful. The dowel pins come for the rocker arm for the hot air engine, but this is a really nice design actually. It's a really nicely made thing. Handy to have something to put all your bolts in as you dismantle things, that sort of thing. Yeah. Probably, I can't remember what I showed you last week. I don't think this was done. I think this was this weekend. Had a calamity with my old collet box, so I made this up. This seems really solid. I think this is pretty good. I think that's excellent. Could do with some rubber feet on it maybe and make it easy to pick up. Bill's been forced to drink extra beer today. That's not a problem, Bill. So there's some 3D printing stuff I've messed around with. I've got a tin of gloss black out that someone's had a bit of a go at. I lent it to a friend at work up in Queensland. They brought it back like this in a plastic bag so it didn't get paint anywhere. How you possibly do this to a tin of paint, I don't know. I don't think this is much good for anything. So we've got to go paint shopping on the weekend. That's not much good. Warm beer, probably. It's cold, well, when the power's off, of course it's warm beer. Alright, my mate Paul, who's a club member here, come and give me a good hand with this. We messed around with the roller a bit on Saturday, so that was something that we did. We finally got this bench bolted on, the top bolted on the bench, which is great. All round, we got the vise, which Paul also donated, on the bench, so that's excellent. So, good job. That's looking for a big lump of steel to go on here, a bit of railway iron or something to go on here. Down flush would be nice, even a bit of 25 by 100 or something steel to go along here, and we put a couple of spaces under it just to make an anvil here on this end of the bench. It'd be really nice. Hasn't happened yet. That was one thing we did on Saturday. It was really good. I think we're back here on Sunday. I don't know. I can't lose track of the days. It's Saturday and Sunday. We were here in the shed, I think. We've cleaned these up. These are Fowler parts. I'm going to leave my glasses off for a minute because I can't see anything. These got a coat of undercoat, but that's about it. This is a genuine Fowler grease cap, or off-the-shelf grease cap from the same period as the Fowler, and it was on the Fowler. It's a Storford's patent number 4. It's cast in the top with a nice cast ridge around it. I'd like 3 more of these. If anyone's got 3 of these in the shed, be keen to hear from you. What I do have is an assortment of other Storford's cups. This one says Storford's System 4. I think that's a bit later one. It hasn't got the ridge around it. And it's got different writing. This one says Storford System 4 too. If we look at them, they're a little bit different. And this one says Storford System 4 too. So these two here are different again. So different years, I guess. The cast iron, they're nice. Anyway, and one of them. If someone has 3 of these and one of these, I swap 3 of these for 3 of them. No worries at all. But these will do for now because they're hard enough to find. This needs black gloss paint on it. Don't think I'll put gold lettering on them. Can't think of another colour to paint them. I could paint them red, but this one goes in here. At some point. So yeah, don't tempt him about the leg vise. We don't need it. I wouldn't mind one because they're a very good vise when they're done upright. Very useful thing. Very good for fine work. Anyway, we got them cleaned up because they were full of grease and put some undercoat on them. That was a bit of an achievement. I've been putting that off. I don't know who Storfer was. Anyway, Storfer seems to know. Another job. I've got a bit of aluminium in my hair. It's fun. Another job was to clean all the dents out of this brass chimney top. So we've done that. It's come up nice. It needs a brasso on it. But this will end up with another coat of paint at some point. It's only had one fairly thin coat of heat-proof black. Got to find a gasket for that, so that's another job. Someone busted the gasket that was on it. It bolts on there. I'd really like, now here, hear me out. I'd really like to paint this smoke box gloss black. That's what I'd like to do. Now, it's not working particularly well because the gloss blacks gets hot and blisters, the one that I was using. If anyone has a thought about that, what you could use, I'd really like to paint this gloss black. I've been thinking about it for a while, but not really had any input. Even this step bracket here, it's been pretty hot and the paint's blistered on it. So that's something I'd like to do fairly quick, but I don't know what to put on it. Anyway, work in progress. Now, I'm going to need a light down here because it's dark in behind here. What can we see down here? A whole lot of dark is what we could see. I'll grab a torch. And I'll sit down here beside the roller and turn the torch on in the dark. There we go, look at that. See, sitting here beside the roller. Everyone's favourite place. My good pants. Bill has thoughts about turning steel black. I did see something about rust blacking. I don't know where though, Bill. May have been on Facebook. I thought of you and then I didn't go back to it because it was the middle of the night or something. Sorry. I shouldn't even mention that because it's complicated. Yeah. Can't remember where it was. None of them are working yet, yeah. Anyway, this is another job we started into. We probably shouldn't have, but here we go. This is steering gear on the roller. We've got this gear here, and this is the original, or the one that was on it. It's not original. It's a bit terrible. And the worm on top there, it's all greasy and awful. About 5 washers and some weird it's almost impossible to see with no light. Let's put a light up here. I don't know if that's going to help anything, is it? Probably is. Is it going to work? Put that around there. Why does that do that? You would think that that should hang straight wherever you put it. It's a design problem. Anyway, this was in here too, I don't know why. Seems to be a split collar with a bolt in it. But that was on this shaft with this worm which doesn't fit properly. And this quantity of large washers, which didn't really help. And then the nut was only about halfway on and it was loose. So the nut screwed off, it's finger tight. There's another washer that was in there. There's a bit of a selection of them. And there's the nut with a cross hole. Anyway, there's the box that needs replacing. We've got the bits to replace the box at some point. There's a cross hole in this bolt which might line up or it might not once we get it all back together. I think we can turn that, yeah. There's a key goes in there. Which I don't know where it is. I think I took it out somewhere. It's up here probably. Yeah. Looks like it's probably the original key with the cutout on the end. Maybe. Don't know if that'll go back in. It looks a bit loose, but we'll have a look. And this one's got the original key in it too with the cutout to go. I don't know if it goes in under there, but fits there anyway. It has a ball race here, and here's the other thrust bearer and mark. So they're okay. I probably wash them up and put them back in. So got them, got the nut, got a heap of big washers. However, there are some other issues. I'm going to try not to get grease all over me and the face and everything else. One is this bracket here, and I had a look at the drawings. Can't really help with that. The drawings don't make a lot of sense. I don't know if I can get this on here on my own with one hand. It's pretty heavy. I'm going to put you guys down. Oh, still going to grunt. All right, stuck. Anyway, this fits, right, which is very good. The size we measured is pretty excellent, actually. I had to do a lot of deburring to make it fit, but it goes on nicely. So I'm very happy with that. However, why do we do this? Buy a steamroller, they said. It'd be fun, they said. It'd be fulfilling and enriching, and you'll feel better for it. That's what they said. I remain unconvinced. Anyway, there's a tapered gap down this side. I don't know if you can see that very well. It's got to go another 3 or 4 mil on there. But the tape is bigger at the top than the bottom, is actually how it is, by about 3 mil. No, at the bottom and the top. There's more taper here than there is up there. And when it fits up, it rubs on here, and there's a 3 mil gap on there. And at factory specs, we can't get that through unless we do something about that. And this is riveted in place, or this one's riveted in place, and this bush goes all the way through, or something. I'm not quite sure how it works. I'm going to have to do some digging around there to see if I can get it to work. There's a grease hole there. I don't know what that is. It needs a good scrape up and a clean up. But I believe that this face here is going to need some modification. Let's have a look at that. You've got to believe it's fun. I'm going to put you down again. You can still hear me. Where do you think I put the pry bar? That'll be fun, because I can't find the pry bar. That's off. There we go. There we go. Didn't need the pry bar. Now, the other thing is that there's quite a sizable gap in that on top. I don't know whether that's worn, which I'm suspicious it could be, or whether that's not actually the bush, it's just the housing, because there is a rivet in that, or 5 rivets or 3 rivets or something. See that pin there? Don't know what that does. But it's quite significantly worn on one side and no wear at all on the other side. See, it's worn here quite badly. And there's no wear at all on this side. So you'd think if this was hanging down, then the wear would be underneath, not on top. I think the pry bar's over on the other bench. I have been using it. Anyway, we put a jack under this, and if this all lifts up and down 3 mil, 5 mil, like I think it might, we better do something about it, I guess. Not happy about that, but something's got to be done. Not an easy job. Right? If there's no movement in that much, and that space is just there because something's not lined up, like this steering arm or something, then we'll just dress that face up and make that wheel fit and deal with it. So there's another one of those pins there. I'm going to put this here, maybe. It'll probably fall off. Might not, but it probably will. Let's try that. So there's another pin here, and one here, and I think there's one here. One there, one there, one there. I think they're rivets. And I think that rivets that plate over the top. I've got grease all over me again. Look, it's filthy. Hey Stuart, that looks like pretty new grease actually. I might be responsible for that. So I don't know. I've got a feeling that this is a steel plate that bolts over this arm, or rivets over this arm onto that back plate, and that holds it together. And the bush for this rod actually comes in from the inside. And if you take this rod out, this bar, this shaft out, then you get the bearing out the other end. Drawing's about as clear as mud. Anyway, that's what we're finding. Got the use of a shaper to put a slot in this, so we'll do that and make this all fit, and we'll organise the worm for it, put it all together, and hopefully we've fixed it. I don't particularly want to pull this shaft apart, not even a little bit. If it's got a lot of slop in it, maybe we need to, but I can't see how it can possibly not have a lot of slop in it, because this gear is nearly all ramps and not a lot of teeth. It's quite a bit bigger gear. It's 2-inch or so pitch circle. It's 2 1/4, something like that. And to make it fit in the space, they've chopped 1/2 inch or 3/4 inch off each tooth. So we're only really working on the roots on this worm. Golconda Circus Festival is probably, Bill, one of those, one of the, if we're going to go to actual events, witness the answer that description, Golconda Circus Festival was definitely on the list. But that's a Tasmanian thing. Clone at 3D Engineering, g'day. Welcome to the bottom side of a steamroller. That's about where we are. There's no other way to describe this. Just atrocious. And it's just an ongoing list of things that may or may not need to be doing at some point. This steam pipe back here, while we're on the subject, this steam pipe up over here, it's atrocious. It's really terrible. It's got about 10 bends in it doesn't need. It doesn't clear anything, it touches everywhere. This flange isn't even like oval, it's just a bit of flat plate with the ends knocked off that's been welded on the end of the pipe. It doesn't fit the pump particularly well at the other end. I don't even know how you begin to even think about replacing that pipe. Right? No idea, but it needs doing at some point. This was all steam cleaned. You know, this was all steam cleaned like a month ago, 6 weeks ago. And this is what you end up with. It's just dripping with oil again. Do I sound disenchanted with steamrollers tonight? I am a bit looking at this, to be honest. A little bit disenchanted. Anyway. Thanks, Mark. This is pretty much terrible. Everywhere you turn around and look, there's something else needs doing. Right, things like this cover comes off. You take this cover, this cover that goes over the top here. It's sort of this shape. And it's got 2 British Standard nuts and 1 Whitworth nut. So I guess you've got to make 2 Whitworth nuts to match at some point. It's another job. It's just never ending. It doesn't stop. The gears are the easy part. Anyway, there's that. It's the boiler blow down over there behind the cobweb. This pipe here is the water pump pipe, which comes from the water pump. It's really a terrible bit of pipe work, to be honest. It's awful. This has got a kink in it. This might actually be original, but it has got a kink in it. This one here has got a lot of really ugly bends in it. I sort of feel like, do we know anyone who's a decent pipe fitter? Neither of those flanges are original, so that neither of those pipes are probably original either. Someone's made this up and put a flange on this one, and someone's put a flange on the other one and made that up. I've got to make some pipes, and the injector pipes on the other side I've got to do something with. So I guess I'm going to learn to make pipes again. It's not a fun job, but that's how we go with it. Anyway, that's another job that we sort of spent a bit of time on Saturday. Don't know if we achieved anything, but we did. Now we're back here in the dark. But we did get the gear to go on there. I've just got to clean that up, or either take a little bit off this gear to fit so the pin goes back in, which I don't really want to do. This is factory size. What I'd rather do is take a bit off that bush, that plate, and see if we can get it to move on another 2 mil so the pin will go in, and that'd be a better job. I think it'd be closer to centre and all that sort of stuff. So anyway, guess when the worm gets here, it's all going to be fitted up anyway. So that's where we're at with that. Need more than pipes, look at that. Oh, seriously. Probably that's what I need, is pipes cleaned out. But anyway, I didn't say that out loud, did I? Anyone want to know who wants to buy a cheap steamroller? That's where I'm at with that tonight. Going to grab this chair because the chair is comfortable. And we'll come down here and we'll have a look at the next thing. Is this a time for dark despair and sitting on the ground? And it's quoting Bunyip Bluegum from Magic Pudding. Fourth Wiseman, g'day. Right, see this? Next, on to the next project. Can't fix that one, we'll go on to this one. Did I show everyone my grader sign? I've got this awesome grader sign I picked up at a swap meet. No grader yet, but we have got a grader ahead sign. Anyway, see this? Abomination. This is the old artefact in the shed, really. This goes back a long way. Right. This engine here, we've had a bit of a look at it in the past, and we've got the cylinder freed up and sandblasted, and I've got to get it back when the fuel price goes down enough to go and get it, which is a bit like that, to be honest. This is a flywheel. That's that one, Bill. Never finished it. I just didn't, no one was interested. Or I lost interest or something, I don't know. Anyway, this has got a gear on it. which is part of the internal, the mystery of it. Bill was. Right, it's got a key in the gear, which is modern technology, I guess. I don't know if it's a key in the gear or if it's something else. I really don't. Oh! I can't see a keyway in the shaft. Right? Whiskers alone are bad enough, attached to faces coarse and rough. See, I don't know how either of those people were enjoying the story. It's all about Uncle Wattleberry and leaving home because of him. It's got a key here, I think. I don't know because I haven't got a drawing with this part on it. What I've got is a drawing that ends here at the flywheel. This flywheel has got a pin across it because Victorian engineering, and no one had really a lot of idea about keys and things. And this is very Victorian, 18 something, 1856. There's a pin. It's either through this side or through the other side. I think it's in the inside, which is useful to get that flywheel off, to get that crankshaft out. So that's something we're going to have to do something about at some point. This looks like quite a heavy section flywheel, but it's actually hollow for 3/4 of the rim. One spoke is solid, or one part of the rim. It probably is, Bill. One segment of the rim is solid for balance, and the rest is hollow. It's got holes around the bottom here, and it's obviously been cored, which is quite smart. So it gives you a nice looking flywheel without putting balance weights and things in it. Now, I really don't know the full story about this engine, except it's Scotch yoke and it's made by Bayer Peacock. And Bayer Peacock didn't make the stationary engines or farm machinery engines officially. I don't know when it was made, but it's definitely made by them. And it's definitely taken from the design of their footplate or running board. Their running board single cylinder pump. However, all I've got is that bit there, which is the wall bracket. It's sitting on its side at the moment, but that's a wall bracket for the engine, and there's no real system for the pump or hole or anything for the pump. And as far as I know, it doesn't feel like it's ever had a pump on it. And it's probably all leaving back to front, so I don't know. However, I'd like to get it going one day. So that means taking that gear off, and I'm not sure how to do that, and taking that flywheel off. I'm also not sure how to do that. But there you go. There is a valve chest there. I'm going to zoom in on that. Remind me to zoom out if I don't. That's the original. See, now I've got grease all over my hands. It's a bit ugly. It's got body filler and stuff in it. Right. And it's got holes in it where it's obviously had some frost damage or something. It's gone bang. sitting on the ground there, I've just noticed. If you can spot that. I had to zoom in to see it. Let's have a look. Oh! Right. This gland, which is the cylinder stuffing box gland, or the valve stuffing box gland, goes in there. Probably needs a bush in it. Don't know how worn it is. Maybe it needs an oversized shaft. I don't know where it was here on the bench. I've taken it off, put it somewhere. Don't know where. Can't see it anywhere. But the rod was there somewhere. This is quite solid. It's a new casting, so it'll clean up all right. It needs boring and machining for this gland to go on there like that. Some point. 2 studs with cross pins. Steam practice, they're just loose studs and they've got 2 cross pins in them. They're push fit with the cross pin. The theory behind that is that you can take the studs out without taking the nuts off if you need to repack the valve. This one should have a tap in here. I've got a brass tap to go here, steam tap to go on this side. And it's got 4, 5, 8 studs through here, which is fun. Yeah, or break something, that's right. So this needs 4 holes in it, the 5/8 shaft. Now, they've got to be like this, only a bit bigger, right? Because Victorians. This is actually the cylinder head, or what's left of it. It's got a piece broken out of the top, which is not helpful. And it would have had a lubricator on here, so that's been smashed off, I would say, and someone's replaced it with 3 studs and put a flange on it and the lubricator on it. Not ideal. So these studs, we've seen these before, I think. Did I show you these? I'll go and get the bag of studs. We have a bag of studs. This is some I prepared earlier. Here we go. Right, there's an original one. And it's too big for that hole, I think. Because these are only 1/2-inch studs. There's the original 1/2-inch one with the... That fits there nicely. There's a new one. Same as that, with a nut. So, it's happening. It's a bit of a job. It's actually a top hat piece there to hold them, to put the domes on them and all that sort of stuff. So they're the new ones. We've got a heap of nuts to make as well. And we've got bigger ones to make. There's the steel from. So we've got to put 4 holes that look like this. It's probably a shaper job, I think. I don't know. A slaughter job. In here. One here, here, and here, and here. You have no problems getting it hot enough. That's not a problem. Now I've got a pulley. The problem I have is getting it that hot is that shaft is probably wrought iron forging, I would say. There we go. We're going to go there. And I reckon it'll separate if you get it too hot or bash it too hard or heat it too much. So going to have a look at that. But there's a lot of wrought iron in that engine. These are wrought iron, the original ones. Is there a broken one? Yep, there's a broken one. You can see look, cracks and inclusions and things in there from the forging process. So anyway, that's a project. You've got to put that in there. We've got to machine this out or shape it out or slot it out or something. Put 4 holes in here. There's meat in the corner, so they go all the way through. And put an air steam inlet in here and machine this off, and then the valve travels in this block here. Not in as such, but it does help with the guidance a bit, I think. Bill, you should absolutely bring them in. Within the year, I'm probably going to get to Tasmania, I hope. Anyway, that's another casting we need. That's a bit ugly. Whether I just machine one out of solid billet, I don't know. It's pretty simple. But we need to know what actually goes on top or what's missing or what should be on here. I think it's got to raise up divot. Now I don't know what shape that's supposed to be. It's got that cut out there, I think, for the piston rod nut, but feels a bit thin here on the edge, so don't know. And this is going to need the 6 holes with the teardrop shaped holes as well, and a screw. I think it's just probably just 1/2 inch BSB in the middle. Never have enough cast iron flywheels, Bill. Everyone's looking at these 2 bits of steel and wondering what they're for. That's another job that needs doing. These are a particular profile. Fit that, see? There you go. Excellent. Now, what we want to do is tack them underneath there, so they're square on parallel on the bottom or level on the bottom, and tack another plate on it and stick the mag drill on it and drill a bung in the bottom here and then cut everything off and clean it up before we paint it. So that's another job. They're laser cut to match, and I'll just tack them on and we'll put the mag drill on it and cut a hole in there with a rotor broach and drill a bush in it and weld a bush in it, and it'd be a good job, I think. I might even do the welding, and then it would be a good job. So they're all things. Now there's this as well. This is another job that we're sort of working on off and on, and they've all come out. I need to weld these brackets up. Something like that. It's a welding job. Get them all nice and square. So, shouldn't be a particularly difficult job to clamp them and tack them. Check them for square, weld them up, grind them all off and make them look nice. These brackets, see here, these two studs are ½ inch longer than they should be. See, the rest of them aren't. It's these two. It's this one, and the same on the other side. Now, under those nuts, these brackets go. Right, one there. One there. Nuts go back on. And on the same on the other side. These 4 brackets here need a dog leg in them, right? I don't think I don't think anyone's going to be able to press them. I think maybe you could. What I might do is run a saw cut in them 3/4 of the way through and bend them and fill them up with weld and do the same on the other side and grind them all off. Right, these go. Gosh. This is clear as mud, isn't it? Let's go around the other side and have a look, because it's the same on the other side. Just there's no flywheel in the way. And a whole lot of dark. Right, here we go. On this horn plate here, which runs from the bottom down up here, this horn plate, there's a bracket on here for the drain cocks. There's another hole here. See that other hole? These bolt on the inside here, like so. And they've got a dog leg to bring them out level with this. And the motion cover has, this is a stud in this end, in the outside end. And maybe the motion cover sits between those 4 brackets with wing nuts on them, maybe. Just looking at this, it might work or it might not, or maybe. Be nice if this bracket that's a bit homemade was an inch shorter on this end, and maybe that's what will happen, because it hangs down quite a bit. Look, it's not parallel, so maybe we could straighten this up and it would work better if it was an inch shorter, and then the wing nut would fit on. They're all things that have got to be fixed. But we've had these motion covers made and they're not right, but there was a little bit of science involved and we missed out on that. The science was a failure. Should have been an easy thing, but they've got an inch radius on them instead of a sharp corner, which means that they need to be different lengths. So I'm going to have to cut 20mm off this, not a big deal. Reposition this hole and this hole. And probably this hole to bring them back in the middle. I've filled this hole and this hole and this hole and then line them up again. Because these were equally spaced, which would be nice. Could probably move this one and not worry too much about it, move this back 20mm. But we'll see. And we'll cut this radius on here and down here 20mm. And then they should fit. These are the motion covers. They're all a bit complicated. They've got different size cutouts and all that sort of stuff. And there's no actual existing drawing. And it's unusual if it would fit anyway. This has got on the outside here, we'll put it up the right way at least. This is the yeah, it's this side. This one. Oh, sorry about the banging. This one here is this side. It's got a brass strip, goes around here. Like, I think probably a half round brass or round top brass. Same round here and bent round this corner. All right, these are painted. Stay. Now on this one, there's two plates that we've made over here. On this one, the nameplate goes on. Bill's learned all about rust. This nameplate goes on that one. And the agent's plate, which is this monstrosity of a thing, which weighs about 8-10 kilos. Austral Engineering Supply Company, 490 to 492 Kent Street, Sydney, sole distributors for New South Wales. This plate goes on the other side. So that's what I'd like to get back together. This plate's not quite as solid as the other one. The other one needs a bit off the back. I think it's a bit thick. But this plate goes here, something like this. Right, which should be nice. Also, it's got some other alloys in it, Bill. Probably nickel and cobalt and all those sort of things that are in electrodes to a certain extent. Only little trace elements, but it makes it rust different. So, it's got four round-head bolts in here, on there. And the other one goes on this one, on the other side. So this should have, this grey should be continued all the way through with the nameplate on it, and the same on the other side. Motion covers need to be red at some point, and then the cladding needs to go on underneath. This is a list of jobs for this thing. List of jobs. This one on this side's also got to have a cutout for this shaft out of here somewhere, wherever it fits. So it's a little bit complicated to fit them up. Over here in the corner, behind the wheelie bins and other junk, is the boiler cladding and the brass strips. So, gonna need some brass strips. I've got most of the fittings for them, and this boiler cladding needs paint. So that's there. If someone wants a job and come and degrease that and paint it and undercoat it, I'd be really appreciative, because that'd be halfway to the job. Anyway, that's what's happening with the roller. This pipe here is off, with the injector off. That's another project. Injector's not far off being finished, to be honest. Get that back on. But it's all work in progress. What I'd really like, if anyone sees one, see that valve there with the flange on the top and the bottom? Right. See that? It's got a flange there and a flange there. We'll zoom in. There we go. This is a flange valve, right? I don't think it's original to this particular engine. It's a bit more modern, but this is what I want, is one of those to go where this one is, right? Can't see that happening anytime soon, so I'm probably going to make some flanges to screw into that and live with it, and try and make it about the same length, so that if we do get a genuine John Fowler injector valve to go in that hole, Bill's not trying to clean it up. He's trying to make things rusty, which is a complicated story. You should go and watch his video. It's more complicated as the more you watch, to be honest. Next stop is Antarctica, Bill says. That's right. Down near Antarctica. Anyway, this isn't a bad pipe out of here, and I'd like to use this bit of the pipe. You can't even see this. This pipe here. I'd like to cut it off here and weld this pipe on here properly. Right? Put a flange on the top and use this piece of the pipe with some modifications. It's not quite right, because it shouldn't be sitting and rubbing on there. Where is, like seriously, that's where Bill is. If you're looking for Bill and you're travelling through southern Tasmania, when you get to the end, you've gone too far, but it's basically turn around and come back, because you'll be there by lunchtime. Probably be by Smoko. So, to fix this pipe properly, right, we need to put a flange on that end. Where it comes out and around here, we need to shorten that up probably 5mm so that this clears here. We need to shorten this up 5mm so that this lines up here. Now we've shortened that up because it's going to, if we make this longer, I don't think it's going to add up in the right spot again. So if we shorten that up, I think it's going to stick out this way further at the bottom than it should, so it's probably going to need a couple of mil out of here. And it's all got to be welded up properly. I hate pipe work. It's a bit daunting because I don't really understand it. But anyway, it's got to line up with the fitting down there that's bolted on. If anyone wants to come and do some pipe work for me, I will probably be happy to feed you. Bruce Witham's coming. So Bruce might be the man for that. Might be pipe fitting extraordinaire. We'll have to talk to him about it. But we need to fix that. Where am I? I'm in New South Wales, Australia. A place called Glen Ray. Come and do it. Very much happy to hand that across. It's a job. It's quite a job. We get that pipe on. If we can get that pipe on, the rest's probably easy. We can live with this pipe on this side for a little bit longer, but it's pretty ugly. That's it down the side there off the pump. Anyway, so I've got deadlines on all this stuff. Not all this stuff, but 2 of those grease cups on the bench that we looked at before go down there. Do something about that while the injector's out and I can get to them. We'll get a torch and have a look at that. There's a couple of awful oil pots on there that shouldn't be there. Go around here where the torch is. Here's the torch. I found the torch. Hasn't got up and walked away. Come around here. Right, I don't know if you can see this. Let's zoom in on here a bit. Sorry, we're a bit shaky. I'll put my glasses down. Anyway, down there's an oil cup. Can you see that? Because it's not going to focus on me. There we go, it's brass oil cap there. That's where 2 of those grease cups go. on the brake hanger. So that's a job. Shouldn't be a difficult job, I think. Anyway, that's where we're at. Anyway, join us on Discord if you want to talk about this more. Appreciate anyone who wants to come and have a look. But this is a job. It's an ongoing job and it's a big job, and there's a lot of jobs that need doing. At this point, to get it back in steam, all this other stuff can go back on. We can put the steering back on if we need to. We don't need the motion covers to be put in steam. We do need, we need to put the grease cups in place, and we need to put a plug in the bottom of the smoke box before we steam it, because I want to paint it before I steam it. I want to paint the front end. Zoom back out. Come on, don't be difficult. There we go. Thank you. So we don't need the motion covers on. Don't need boiler cladding on. We don't really need to do the steering, but we do need an injector and injector pipe before we steam it again. So it's going to be some fairly interesting work there to get that pipe lined up with the injector and that valve and not touching anywhere like it is. I think that pipe's got to come off though. Which block of wood? It's the brakes. Anyway, there's an update on the roller. You haven't had one for a while. It's all the things that we're doing in the background, all the things that are sort of happening, all the things that need working on. There's also a bronze cap there sitting on there, scraper iron that come out of this clack, and that's going to need some work as well before it goes back in steam. I hope Christian comes down because he was very good at fixing the pump one, so I will give him the job of fixing this. Anyway, Mark, while we got you here, these abominations, this atrocity that is Fowler's cylinder drains, right? What ended up happening, and they're all over the show, this one's probably a good one, is I put 2 half nuts on here and did them up. It's the only way I could keep them tight. And they've got a cup washer on top that holds them in place. Now that's got a good cup washer on it, and some of the others do too, but they really need new washers around them. Every time I take it out, we do something about trying to fix them, and I think that seems to be working because it did the national rally without losing any bits. The 4 of them still have nuts on them. Some of them have pretty ugly washers on them. So need to make new cup washers to put in all of them and get them operating again. So that's a thing too. Anyway, thousand projects. Anyway. A little bit of sign painting happening here at the moment. The name of the roller seems aptly fitting at the moment. There's a sign painting job going on here. We'll have it finished. I'll show you more next week. I should have it finished next week. Yeah, it doesn't sound at all good, Bill. Not even a little bit. Anyway, that's where we're at. If I wanted to do something, I could probably get this fixed, but I don't. But I need to get back on the hot air engine. It's probably the most important thing. And sort out the injector, which is busted. Anyway, thanks guys. I think I'm out of here. We've had quite a roller catch up. Sorry guys. And it looks like I haven't done much, but I actually have been pretty flat out here getting all these bits going, sorted out. A goon bag, Peter, what we used to call a $10 chuck, but I don't think you can buy one for $10 now. So that didn't really work. Didn't age well. Peter thinks the flywheel needs painting, and it absolutely does. Oh, Paul thinks the flywheel needs painting, sorry. Absolutely does, but I'm not interested. Bill's a little narky, his rust isn't working out. Anyway, that's where we're at. Be kind to each other. Thanks for tuning in and all that stuff. If anyone wants a holiday repairing steamrollers, come and see me, because I'm absolutely down for that. There's good company here, and there's no shortage of steamroller work to be undertaken, or any other steam work. There's a stationary engine there, there's another stationary engine there, there's another stationary engine there. There's another steamroller there. It's ongoing. There's more engines outside. Anyway, plenty to do, just saying. Anyway, I'm going to go and find some dinner. Probably a cup of tea would be amazing. Let's lock the shed up and go to work tomorrow and finish off some axe handles and some club hammer handles, which is a pretty miserable sort of a combination, and probably make 1,000 broom handles or so. So that's tomorrow's work job, and then Friday I'm got a half day, and then I've got to go and buy paint and stuff. And Saturday, I don't know what's happening yet. Anyway. Discord is the most coordinate places found on the Wacky Net, that's right. Anyway, I'm out. Catch you again. And all offers of help on steamrollers gratefully accepted.